So my name is Anina Collier. I am the Dean and George Kaiser Family Foundation Endowed Chair of the Center for Creativity here at TCC. And we're in the event hall at an event celebrating the opening of our exhibit, The Art of Beer. And this is a showcase of the art and design that 5 of Tulsa's favorite breweries have on their cans. So we are kind of helping to elevate the art into a form where more people will hopefully be able to appreciate it, because they are doing incredibly innovative things, and it's just kind of taking the canvas from the beer can to the walls in a more gallery-like setting. This exhibit is free and open to the public for people to come in. We also have an online version, so if coming in isn't possible for you right now, you can see it online at centerforcreativitytulsa.com.
I'm standing in front of some of my labels here that are currently on display at the Center for Creativity with TCC, Art of Beer exhibit. And a little bit about my process is all of these beer labels start off as hand-painted watercolor illustrations. Then I do scan them in and add all of the other digital elements to them as well. But it's a really fun gig for me, because the cool thing about craft beer art is there really aren't a whole lot of rules. So when thinking about the branding for Cabin Boys, I wanted it to be have my own flavor as an artist, which I think is a little bit of a whimsical illustrative style, but also incorporate the rusticness and themes of like the great outdoors and things that we're passionate about through our beer making at the brewery. Part of the process is drinking the style of beer and thinking about it. It's also an open conversation with the brewers about, what the purpose is behind that style, or what they're trying to, if sometimes certain styles tell a story. For instance, the one that I'm standing in front of is the Oktoberfest label. We knew it was going to be centered around the festivities that happen during Oktoberfest season, such as the fair rides that you might enjoy, or the food and drink, obviously, that you would enjoy with that beer. So if you see all of the different Tulsa craft brewery labels, they all have very different stylistic choices, color palettes, themes, and it's all really cool, and it's all really diverse, because you can pull from, painters like me or graphic artists, and get very different looking labels that are equally impactful on a store shelf.
Hello there, my name is Colin Healy. I'm the artistic director for Prairie Artisan Ales, and behind me is some of my art. Just to go through my process a little bit, first I'm given a name typically for the beer. Usually that comes from our Oklahoma City brewery. That's kind of our test market, so if a beer is successful there, we'll scale things up. That means we'll go into a packaged format. So from there, I'll take the name and then just kind of whatever strikes my fancy as far as the visual identity of that product. Nowadays, I'm working exclusively on an iPad using Procreate. So that's been a great tool. The Mac is really responsive with its gesture controls and things like that. So working all digital in raster base or pixels, and then coloring things in and slapping any text that's on there and sending it off. Some labels, it kind of just depends on if the name has any sort of obvious connotations to it. Like for instance, Rainbow Sherbet, obviously it's going to have some rainbows in it. So some things are a little bit easier, but generally it's a week-long process, depending on how busy and how many other things I'm balancing. Well, Prairie, I think, is sold in about 25 different states and about the same amount of different countries all over the world. I think you can find it on every continent except for Antarctica, at least to my knowledge. So I think we just try to do things that are whimsical and fun and invite the consumer to interact with the product, whether it's just looking at the label and turning it over, passing it among your friends and family, like, oh, look at this. I like to include interactive elements to the beer, whether it's got like a word search or some sort of puzzle. I kind of think back to cereal boxes with a lot of that stuff and creating some interaction with our consumers. And yeah, just having fun with it.
Tom, we're here at Tulsa Community College for the Art of Beer, which is one of the most unique events we've ever been asked to be a part of. And so tonight, right behind me, you see some of Eric Hunter's artwork. Eric is our designer for our labels. And fun, interesting fact, he was the college roommate of Eric Marshall at the University of Tulsa. So fun to keep it in the family, and Eric Hunter does a wonderful job. For Marshall Brewing Company, we put a lot of thought into how we convey our brand to consumers. And that means how you can find and spot our product on the shelf in a crowded marketplace. And so we really look to convey a regional image, something that you can identify if you're from Oklahoma, and also our brand and the style of the beer. So really to us, the label is telling the story of Marshall Brewing Company and also giving you a quick and concise way to see what brand and what style you're buying.
Hey guys, it's Chase Healy, co-founder American Solera. We're here at this amazing art event to talk all about the art of beer labels. It's really a fun process for us. I work with an artist by the name of Joe Kappa. He's an animator, illustrator, all-around great guy. And, a lot of brainstorming, a lot of kicking ideas around. We talked this morning and it's, what are these beers? Do you have any ideas? Sometimes I say, Joe, I don't have an idea. I just need some help here. But we've been working together creatively for, like the last 25 years. So we kind of get each other, and that helps a lot. A lot of times there is just like an idea or a joke or something we're trying to portray in the label. And it's easy when you know your artist pretty well to get there with the concept. But we don't really play by a lot of rules artistically. So sometimes it's pretty easy because anything goes. We're probably producing around 100 different beers a year, and so the demand for art's really high, and I think that's the challenge and part I enjoy, and just kind of how our brand operates. The opportunity to present a new idea, to create a new concept is what drives our brand and what drives me creatively. And so being able to work with Joe, heck, even I make a label every now and again. But we need a lot, so we're always brainstorming and always working on it.
So my name is Jake Miller. I'm the co-owner of Heirloom Rustic Ales in the Kendall Whittier neighborhood. Our artist is Jessica Rue. We've been working with her since the beginning. She's the only artist that we've ever had and ever employed. Basically, the way that it works is I come up with this idea for a beer name and kind of a general theme, and I send that to her, and then she makes it sound like a good idea through the illustration. She spends, 2 to 3 weeks usually, and sends it back in, and it's always perfect. I think there's one label where I've ever asked her to change anything. So we do mostly flora and fauna. And kind of her, I would say she has kind of this mystical add-on to, it's like almost like a naturalist drawing meets Tolkien. And I love it. I think it fits our brand perfectly.